Okay, welcome everyone for our last session for this unit, which is CHCLEG001, work ethically, legally and ethically. We'll be conducting our role plays for task 4, and I'll run through them again before you guys start, before I pair you guys off into your breakout groups where you guys will perform your role plays together with your team member. So I'm just going to put this on the screen now. So task 4 is 2 role plays. Okay. The first one is part A, which is with Estelle Lovett. So just one second, guys. Okay. All right. So the first one is about Estelle. So Estelle is a support worker. Um, Is this the one with the still? I think the first one and the second one were still, it wasn't it? This is about Emily. One second. Yes. All right. So you're playing the role as the still again, support worker for First Access. You've been supporting a client called Emily, who has just been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Emily has been through domestic and family violence and wants to keep her health condition private, especially from her family. So Emily's sister Lara, as you can see in the scenario, really wants to know what's going on with Emily's health and gets upset when you say you can't share the information. So now after the phone call, you organize a meeting with your supervisor, John Ford. So this is the scenario between yourself at the role playing Estelle and the other person will be playing John Ford. Now in the meeting, there's a few things you guys need to do. The first part is obviously talk about the situation, tell John what occurred, and then explain how you followed the policy and procedure, um, and how you respected Emily's rights and privacy. Mention that you stayed professional, you stayed calm, you respected Emily's decision. And then I wanna see a suggestion of a work practice to improve processes as well. So come up with one idea that could help other staff in future to deal with these sort of tricky situations like this in the future. And also make some references to policies like privacy and confidentiality policy, the client's rights policy, and the code of conduct. Very important. It has to go for a minimum of 5 minutes, but no more than 10. Okay, so if you guys are paired up, that will be a total of 4 role plays. So each of you have to play the role as the support worker. Okay. Any questions on the first one, guys? Excellent. All right, so then this brings us to the second role play. Now, this is where you'll be playing the role of Duca Sep. Again, a community support worker at First Access. You've just found out that your co-worker Lachlan is doing a few things that is against policy and procedure and potentially breaking the law. Number one, he's taking some supplies home, like medicine and gloves. 2, he's helping his brother and cousin outside of work without following correct procedure. 3, he's hiding a conflict of interest. So his cousin is actually a client of First Access and he hasn't told anyone, especially management. And the last thing that he's doing wrong is that he's asking you as Duker to keep all this a secret. Now, again, you decided to meet with your supervisor, John Ford, and report everything that you heard or that you spoke about with Lachlan. Same sort of step by step as the first role play. So first you got to do, what you need to do is to tell John about what you saw and what you heard. Explain why this is a problem. So explain that, this could be theft, this is a conflict of interest, and a breach of policy. Talk about the risks, like, for example, this could put clients at risk, going against the code of conduct and breaching privacy confidentiality rules. Again, refer to the first access policies like the code of conduct, privacy and confidentiality policy, the conflict of interest policy, and also WHS. And it's very important during this role play and the first one as well to stay professional, respectful during the whole time. So make it clear that you understand the cultural side of things as well, and but you're doing what's right for the client, staff, and the workplace. Any questions on part B? No. Okay. All right. So let me get hands for those who are going to attempt the role plays tonight, please. Just keep them up, guys. I think Rani's already done it. 1, 2, 6, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, I might jump off tonight and just catch up on some assessments if that's all right, KM.
That's fine, mate. All good. I
Right.
think you're perfect.
Easy. Thanks. See you guys.
Thank you. All right, so we've got 12 guys, so that's perfect. So I'll pair you guys into, I'll pair you up. Yep. Get your recording ready to go, guys, so I can give you guys access now. So just press record, and then once I give you access, just press pause.
Just a reminder that mine, I can't record. It's Jackie.
Jackie, okay.
And Jody too, please. Sorry.
Jackie.
And I find it as well a bit, I don't know, I'm not, it's a bit tricky.
Alona.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay.
Cheyenne.
There's 3 of you, yep, that's fine.
And Tony.
And Tony, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I can't record as well as I am on my phone, so
Okay. All right, so the rest of you should be able to record. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that can't record. So I'll try to pair you guys up with the ones who can. Okay, let's do these breakout groups now. So manually 6. There was Jackie. Jody. Is Deborah here? Yep, it's here. Close this, do it again. It's not working for some reason. Just one sec, guys, nearly done. Okay, so I've got Jody. Excellent. Room 4. Lona. Lyle. Did Lyle want to do them? No. Okay. Sam there. Tony. Victoria. Victoria, you can record?
Yep.
Perfect. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we've got Vicky. Yes. Yeah, Yasmin, you can record?
I think I can, yes.
Okay.
I hope I can.
All right, that's all right. All right. Okay, guys, I've got the groups. There'll be 2 remaining with me here. And you'll do your role plays here. So any questions before I start the groups? Okay, so when you do finish your role plays, come back to the main page. Just make sure your screen's turned off and muted, just in case the role plays are still going here. Okay, good luck. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side.
Hey,
Hey guys, I'm just gonna have to quickly swap to my phone instead. So whoever's with me in a group, give me a moment.
Oh, Edward, are you doing it as well, are you?
Yeah, I assume that that's what we're doing tonight. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I just didn't have your hand up before, that's all.
Oh,
That's all right.
oh,
did,
oh, oh, it's
so-
because I assumed I didn't
sorry,
know what we had to had the hand up for. I thought it was to say like if I'm not sure what we were having the hand up for because some people didn't have the hand up, so
All good. Yeah, you just do what you need to do and come back.
okay.
did you put me in a group? Cyan?
Did you want to do it as well, Luke?
Yes, please.
So I'll put you and Edward together.
All right.
Awesome.
Edward, just sort out what you need to sort out, and we'll wait for you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Yasmin?
Yeah.
Oh, so you and Martin will do your role plays here. So
Okay.
you don't have to record. I've got the recording on for you guys here already.
Okay. No worries.
So let's just wait for Edward
Yeah,
to
thanks.
sort out his camera and that, and then I'll put Luke and Edward in another group, and then we'll start. So if you just want to work it out amongst yourselves, who wants to go first?
I can start if you want, Martin.
Sure. Ken, just to be sure, if we're doing it with you, we don't need to do the ID thing, or do we?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Just in case someone else
I forgot
marks it.
about that. Thanks
Yeah.
for reminding me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. I should have asked if
Give me a second.
I would 90% sure that I'll be marking them, but just in case someone gets there for
Yeah,
me,
gotcha. No
yeah,
problem.
they might have an issue with it, and then yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah, yeah. It's better to do it now than have to do it all again.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Estelle, I'm guessing. All right, so hello, my name is Estelle, and my name is Yasmin, and I'm doing CHCLEG001. It's my ID upside down, sorry. There we go. So hi, I needed to come in and see you
Sure.
regarding Emily. She's a little bit distressed. She's just recently got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis,
Okay.
and she's let me know that she needs and wants, her diagnosis to be private and confidential. She doesn't want, even if it's her family members, she just doesn't want them knowing. But I've got a little bit of a dilemma where
Understand.
Lara, her older sister, has come in and she's she's wanting to speak to me about Emily's health, but with our policies, our privacy and confidentiality policies, I know I can't do that, but I guess by coming to you, I'm just sharing this information, and in the flow of professionalism and our
Okay.
policies, and maybe get an idea, of what to do in this
Sure.
situation.
Okay, well, thanks Estelle for coming in to see me, and sure, I can let's have a quick talk through it and see what exactly has gone on here and what our rights are. But it sounds to me that you've handled it exactly as we are obliged to under our policies and procedures. So good on you for that. So pretty much her sister, just so I make sure that I have it right. So she's a client of ours anyway. And her sister now is she wants to know everything that's going on. She wants to know what health issues her sister has. So I guess that's understandable that she would like to know those things, but obviously under our patient rights and duty of care, privacy and confidentiality policies, we cannot do that, and we have to honor our clients' rights. So really, you've spoken to Emily, and she has agreed with you that that's what she wants to do.
Well, yeah, she made it a thing of expressing that she doesn't want anybody to know about it, because also experiencing domestic and family violence, being a victim, I guess she's not I guess I can see that she's quite sensitive, and
Sure.
she's absolutely not. So, but I don't know if we can offer an alternative, say, maybe if when speaking to Emily, or Lara, offer a suggestion of getting all together, and if then in that situation, if Emily wishes herself to share that information, that's just, it's like an alternative,
Okay, yeah.
because I'm seeing that Lara is quite demanding, and she's like demands and says, I have every right to know about my own sister's health, and surely there's something we can do. So I just thought, maybe as an alternative to get together, if Emily chooses to.
Okay. Well, I think you've handled it really well, Estelle, and I just think, yeah, I think that might be a good idea going forward. Obviously, in this case right now, and I mean, you've discussed this with Emily twice, I believe, and she's pretty firm in her wishes for this to remain in-house, and that's her complete rights to do that. I mean, and that's one of our core principles here at First Access. So I do think However, maybe overall, maybe we should look at ways where we can discuss our policies and procedures with the families so that they won't feel that we're actually working against them if something like this happens again. So I do agree that might be a good thing maybe if we have some kind of an information session maybe or something like that with the families, our immediate families of our clients. Maybe this should be done at the outset when we're taking clients on, where we can explain at the forefront to families that look, your sister or your brother or whatever is here, these are some of the rights that we will give them here and protections, because that's really what they are. Rights, your rights are your protections. It's what makes us all tick, I guess. So that would be one area. Is there anything else you could think of that would be a good way of letting the families know what exactly their rights would be when it comes to discussing their family members' health?
Um, well, I've just listened to everything that you said, and I'm taking it on slowly but surely. And an information session sounds like the best thing, because what I was thinking was like clear communication. It's basically the same thing, but said communicated differently, information
Sure.
communication, and about the concerns and our privacy policies and the legalities surrounding that, and the trust. We can't be breaking clients' trust. It'll
Sure.
lead to a bad reputation, I guess, as well. And it might be more detrimental to that person's mental health care state, coming from the background that they've come from and trusted in us to not share that information. That's what we're here for, to protect, like what you mentioned, protection of
I agree, and I think,
confidentiality.
yeah, exactly, Estelle. And I think really, after what Emily has gone through, I mean, she's a young lady, 36, and obviously this latest diagnosis with MS is pretty cruel. And then to think she's already a domestic violence and family violence sufferer and survivor, so I'm sure her sister would be aware of some of those issues as well. Possibly, I'm not 100% sure on that, but again, I think it's vital in that aspect that we do protect her rights because, like I said, patient rights, privacy, and confidentiality, and our duty of care is first and foremost to Emily. I do think, though, information sessions and maybe contact with the family through whatever their preferred method would be a good step. And maybe if we can create a situation or create something where we can put her sister into her shoes. What would she expect if the shoe was on the other foot? If Lara was the patient, what would she like us to do if someone came in and said, look, we want to know what's going on, So I think that's one way of maybe we can maybe get that point across. But
Thank you so much. Yeah, the duty of care, obviously, communicating that
sure.
and what it involves.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
really
think
appreciate all your help.
yeah, I think thanks for coming in because this is something I think we all need to again, it's another example that comes up that we can all learn from. So thanks a million for that. And it appears obviously you've remained very calm with your discussions with Lara and very open to communication, and that's why we're here. So I do think we should look at information booklets and sessions in regards to our policies and procedures and specifically to patient rights, because that's exactly why we're all here at the end of the day, I guess. So thanks a million for that. I will take note of all that and I'll put it into a minutes and we'll take it from there going forward. So thanks again for sharing all of that information with me.
And thank you for the support, John.
No problem. Thank you. Okay.
Awesome.
So that's
Before you start the next one, just for Edward and Luke, unfortunately, I can't put you guys in a group, so you'll have to wait until Martin and Yasmin finish.
Oh.
Okay.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just absorbing the role plays right now because I'm trying to, yeah.
Awesome. So I'll put you guys in a group later on tonight, and you guys
Okay.
can put together. All right.
Okay.
All right, sorry guys, you can keep going.
That's all
Sorry,
right.
Ken. Would we be better off if Jasmine carries on and does the second part, or will we concentrate on this one first?
Up to you, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you'd like to do, Martin. Do you want to do Estelle now?
Yeah, I'll do part A and then we can both do part B, I guess, afterwards.
All right, no worries.
No, I just had my ID, you know, I haven't. There we go. All right. So, hi, my name is Martin O'Connor. Here is my identification. I'm doing task 4, part A, which is work legally and ethically, CHCLEG001. I'm playing the role of support worker Estelle Lovett, and I'm in a meeting today with John Ford, who is the head of care here at First Access. Okay, so John, hi. I just wanted to come and see you today just to discuss an incident or something that's going on at the moment with one of our clients. So you be aware our client Emily, she's been here now for quite some time. She's a domestic violence and family violence sufferer and survivor. But only lately she has had the misfortune of having another bad health diagnosis where she's been diagnosed with MS or multiple sclerosis. So you know, that's a big burden for her to bear. But now also on top of that, we have her sister Lara, who's her older sister. So I guess she feels like she's protecting her in one way. But she has come looking for information about her health and about how she's doing and everything. So obviously, here at First Access, we have many patient rights in our patient rights charters and our policies and procedures. And a couple of them are obviously privacy and confidentiality and duty of care to our clients first and foremost. So I did speak to Emily, and it's Emily's wish that none of her health information is released, and that includes to her family or to anybody else, which we have to respect. I mean, that's number one. Her sister isn't really accepting that right now, so I've explained it the best I can for now, and I've been quite calm. You know, I've explained exactly how things work here. I've explained the risks of what happens when we disclose information that she doesn't want to be disclosed, and just really what we're all about here. We cannot break some of our ethical laws here. We just can't do it. So I just wanted to share that with you today and see. It seems to be a bit complicated, this one, but I just want to really know, is there anything we can do better, or did I handle it correctly, or what other steps can we take?
Thank you, Estelle, for coming in to see me. Absolutely, you handled it. I think you handled it really well. But what I could probably suggest is maybe let's listen to Lara's concerns and acknowledge how she feels, but obviously without breaching Emily's trust and privacy, exactly along the lines of what you've just said. And yeah, maybe we could, again, while speaking with Lara, you know, clear communication regarding the company's privacy policy and legal requirements, you know, sharing information surrounding health. It's actually a legal requirement, even if it is family, not to share that information. And obviously the sensitivity surrounding Emily's past as well. And not even if, rather, even if Emily herself has said, I don't want this shared with, if she comes in and said, I want you to share it, you know, it's still privacy and confidentiality.
Sure.
So I think you handled it really, really well. But yeah, like I said, just if we do, we can still listen to Lara's concern.
Okay.
And maybe organize an information session, you know,
Sure.
just to ease tensions and
Right.
heartbeats surrounding the
Yeah.
situation.
Okay, well, that sounds like a really good idea, John, because this is the first real instance where I've come across this issue where we have a family member that's pretty overbearing, and I get it. She's her sister. She's already seen her sister going through a tough life, so she wants what's best for her. But we also want what's best for her. So we have to. I think we have to go by the book on this one every single time. And we just need to respect her privacy wishes. And like you said, she isn't in great health at the moment, so it's one less stress she needs is to have this over and back now with the family. I did speak to Lara the following day after the initial conversation, because I doubled back to Emily again just to make sure, and she was adamant. She goes, absolutely under no circumstances can any of my health details or files be disclosed to anyone else. So I think for me that put an end to it, but we still I don't want to create a situation where we alienate their family or come across as being unapproachable. So I do think that, yes, information sessions or booklets that we can provide to the families, possibly when the clients come here first and foremost, would be a good idea. And maybe those booklets, leaflets, posters, things that we can leave around the guest waiting rooms here and on our notice boards, because it is a legal as well as an ethical requirement. So we do really need to get this right.
Absolutely, yeah, and for the safety and protection of our clients here at First
Sure.
Access, 100%. I hope that was helpful for you, and we'll
Yes,
just do everything we can to support Emily and her wishes,
sure.
and obviously listen and hear the family members out as best we can. Yeah, just to protect and communicate the actual legalities and the privacy and the concerns surrounding everething. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, yeah,
Thank you,
thanks again for
Estelle,
that.
for
I
coming
agree.
in.
We just have to find that common ground, the balancing act between our patients' rights and obviously the family's wishes as well. Obviously, that they mean well, but I can understand why they get frustrated when they're not hearing anything. But that's just the way it is in this instance. I'm guessing. But thanks again for having my ear on this one and for giving me the support as always.
Thank you, Estelle. And yeah, I'll leave that in your capable hands, maybe to follow up and just include me in any communications
Sure.
prior to, if you choose or are able to get a collective communication session in there with
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah, hope to talk to you again soon.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Talk soon. Bye.
Thank you.
All right. One.
I think
So
that's done. Jan, shall we just keep going? Or
I reckon, yeah, let's just let's
Power
just plow
through,
through
guys.
it, yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, power through. Keep going.
Okay, no worries. Did you want to start the next one?
What
Or,
the
or
next?
you want a little bit of a break?
Yeah, my voice. Yeah, I let you go, but take your time.
Okay. Okay. I've got a few notes here.
Yeah.
So which one is this one? It
This
is
is task
task
4B,
2.
Juka.
Okay. Juka. Okay. Hello, my name is Yasmin and am currently doing task C4 of 4, CHCLEG001, Duca Sep in this role play. And again, here is my ID, the right way up this time.
Good.
Okay, okay. Hello there. I've just come in. I need to share with you.
Hi, Juka. Welcome.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you just said. Pardon me.
Hello, Juka. Welcome to this meeting today. Thanks for organizing.
Yeah, thanks, John, for seeing me. I've got a bit of a dilemma. I've got one of our colleagues, and I've confronted him because I've seen him taking supplies home, And it's quite worrying because it involves like medical and medicine. And I mean, even if it wasn't that, it's still wrong for
Hmm.
what he's doing. But when something like that, if it needs to be supervised or monitored, you know, he needs to let somebody know of what's going on. I have confronted him, but he was a bit surprised, and
Sure.
I'm trying to support the situation, but it's left me in a really difficult. It's become my problem because it's actually against our policy, and it's against the law, really, you know.
It is, yes.
So, you know, he expressed that his brother refuses to seek help. You know, and within his culture, it's like a great shame to seek help, you know.
Oh,
So I just thought, well, you know, regardless of whatever motives, it's still if you know, you need to let somebody know. And I have told him, and it's like he was more interested in saying, no, I absolutely can't. I'm worried about getting the sack, and you know,
all
just be
right.
a mate and
Okay.
please don't say anything. But I can't leave things to the flow and wait for somebody to get hurt in this
Sure.
situation.
Okay. Um, yeah, that sounds like there's a lot going on there. So Chuka, I'm just wondering, so Lachlan, I mean, first off, you've done the correct thing. I mean, we're all one team here. We're all teammates, and by reporting this, absolutely, you've done the right thing. First of all, stealing wouldn't be accepted, I don't think, in any organization. It doesn't matter if it's $2 lollies or you know, if you're stealing the car. I mean, you start somewhere and you'll end somewhere else. So you've done the right thing by bringing this to my attention. So let me get this straight. So he's been stealing or removing things from the building here, which were bandages and pills and things like that. So medical supplies. So number one, it's code of conduct, I guess, has been breached. And number two, like to an extent, WHS work health and safety has been breached because if we end up with a situation where we've a shortfall of stock or medication for our clients, then that kind of falls on us. So yeah, I'm glad you brought this to my attention. So what do you think we can do with it? Do we need to go further, or is there anything else going on with him? Or
Well, okay, he's shared with me that he doesn't want me to tell anybody, to share it with anybody. But as I've mentioned to you, I can't do that. In this situation, there's a few policies, I guess, that to protect myself, I guess I'm kind of like the whistleblower here. So there's a whistleblower policy that to protect
yes,
myself. Somehow, if I mean, if it eventually has to be known that it's me, if he gets confronted, that's okay because I would be more concerned about, you know, his family member being hurt if something was not done and, you know, if it wasn't monitored or followed, you know, in a prescribed situation or authorized situation.
yes.
Um, so yes, and there's actually another thing that I failed to mention. He's supporting another family member who is actually a client.
Oh,
And
really?
he hasn't disclosed that information either. So there's a there's a couple of you know,
Seems to be
there's
a lot going on. Yeah,
misuses of resources, you know, taking supplies without proper authorization, you know, like I've mentioned, especially if it concerns controlled substance and medicine,
sure.
it's quite dangerous and worrying. That's why I've actually come to you. what to do about it was my first step was coming to you, because then, yeah, if something bad does happen, then that falls back on first access. And
Yeah, you've done 100%. You've done the correct thing, and I recommend everybody to do the same because, yeah, I mean, legally and ethically, there's been a lot going on here that wouldn't stand up to the pub test, I guess you could say. So he's breached. So what has he breached really? What do you think he's breached, as well as like what policies?
well, not disclosing when supporting somebody within the organization, not disclosing the support that he's giving without permission.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, the misuse of resources.
Sure.
I strongly encouraged him to be open and honest about things, because then it may even make way for more support for his family. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think I mean, everything you've explained to me sounds like he's a lot going on there. I get the cultural thing where they don't like to ask for help, but I would suggest to him that the fact that he works for First Access, he would know. Obviously, he's broken well, three or four of our policies and right here. So, but because he has actually worked for us and does work for us, he will understand that it is okay to ask for help. And sometimes you just have to don't let pride get in the way of when you need something, because like we're not talking about clothes or things like that. We're talking about medication and bandages for injuries and things like that. So I think we do need to. I think maybe I should have a chat with him myself, as a supervisor and the head of care here, and maybe just discuss a few things with him, because it looks to me like he needs a bit of self care himself, and possibly some counselling, because it seems to me that he's almost like a father to his brother and his cousin, and it just seems to be very, very complicated. So, do you think that'd be something we could set up, maybe a meeting between myself and Lachlan?
yeah, as we've been talking, and you did ask the question, what policies and you know, do you think, or what could we do about it? I just, as we kept talking, I could revisit and confront him a second time and say, look, there's actually, legal and ethical requirements surrounding this stuff. It's not just, oh, you can't accept this because it's a cultural thing. I understand that's hard for you. Maybe speak it in that way, and soften the situation before saying, well, I'm having to go to management about this, or to seek more help. Make it obvious. And the private, I guess, I just thought of a way, maintaining, client confidentiality, in the procedure of handling things. Maybe if I maneuver and share it in that contents, it'll soften him up to say, okay, yes, maybe I can ask for help if it is done in a private and confidential, mindset, obviously, and policy and procedures and the legal surroundings, if he's made aware of that.
Yeah.
Because, and obviously the safety concerns as well,
Sure.
is very, very important. And I will continue to encourage him, but then if worse comes to worse, we have to say, okay, let's hold a meeting and just let him know
Sure.
that it's actually a safety concern.
Great. Well, I think that's some fantastic information, Juka, and I really like your ideas there of maybe having another talk with them and just really explaining that, you know, ethical considerations are one thing, but the legal considerations as well are a little bit different than if you're stealing from the workplace, that can lead to a shortage of supplies, or medication or something like that, and then this could snowball into a whole different animal, I guess. So do you think, while we're on the subject of that, and the WHS side of things, is there something we could put into place where we can ensure that the likes of our stock, and specifically our medication, cannot just be taken off the property by anyone at any time?
Well, it sadly it if it's not already known, it should be common sense and common knowledge. But I guess communicate and share with people that everything is counted, and maybe do a weekly count of stock, if it's wherever it's stored, and allocate a person, and maybe have lists of the stock. Obviously, we do our yearly stock take, but then make it a bit more regular. So if it is noticeable, and maybe that's also a way to let, forgotten his name.
Oh, Lachlan, yeah.
Lachlan,
Yes,
yes, I'm so sorry.
that's
Lachlan,
fine. Yeah.
aware that somebody has noticed, and again, protecting confidentiality around it.
Sure. I
That's
agree, and
my suggestion.
that's very well worth noting, and we will get on to the right people here that do that, because if we're ordering in uh, X amount of paracetamols and Panadols and some of the heavier pain medications, and also when we give them to clients, we'll write them out as when they get administered or whatever. So the shortfall will be noticed eventually. It might take some time, but it will. So I think we need to probably fast track that and bring something into play that will make it impossible to do that, because we don't know to this stage how much he's taken, what he is taking, and we just need to probably nip it on the bud to ensure that it doesn't go any further.
Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate all your support.
No problem at all. And again, thanks for bringing this all to my attention. And we'll work on something, and hopefully we can get him back on track again and get him the support that he needs. So thank you.
All
Good
right.
job. You're all done.
Thank you. All right, it's your turn now.
All righty. Here's my ID. Martin O'Connor is my name, and I'm doing Task 4 Part B in Unit CHCLEG001, Work Legally and Ethically. Today I'm playing the role of worker Juka Sepp, and I'm in a meeting with John Ford, who is the lead of care here at First Access. So, John, thanks for seeing me today. I just have something that I really need to discuss with you, because it's kind of like there's a few issues tied up in the one person here. So you would be aware of our colleague Lachlan. He's been here now for quite some time. But the day before yesterday, before he left work here, left the building, I did notice that he was removing some of our stock from the storeroom, like bandages and like even pills and other things like that, all medical, really. So I didn't say anything at the time because it just wasn't the right moment to do it. I didn't say anything actually. He just left and went home for today. But this morning I did confront him about it. Now, I was calm, collected. I just said, look, Lachlan, I did notice yesterday that you have removed some of our company stock here from the building. So I've asked him, was he okay? Did he need help with anything? So he was shocked because he hadn't seen that I had witnessed him taking it. He became very defensive and a little bit irate that I would question him on it. So I think first of all, he was shocked. I don't know how long this has been going on. But I did ask him what were the reasons for it, and straight away he tells me that his brother is going through a tough time at the moment. He doesn't want our help, so he felt both him and his brother felt it was easier for him to just get whatever he needed, like paracetamols, dressings, that kind of thing, support bandages for wherever his injuries are. But he culturally, they don't like to ask for help. They want to be the man and not request help for anybody. Which I understand people's cultures, but not when it breaks laws and breaks some of our responsibilities here. So um, that was only one issue, and while I was having that issue, and while I was asking, was there anything else bothering him? And he seemed really flustered. And he did say that also, and I was not aware of this. I'm not sure if you were, but he also has a cousin who is a client here at First Access, which I'm not sure how it happened initially, how it got past the goalkeeper, but obviously that's a direct breach of our ethics here. I mean, there's a conflict of interest where if he was taking care of his cousin, he might be spending too much time with the cousin, neglecting someone else. Like you have favoritism, you have situations where if anything went wrong, you're going to be in trouble. So legally and ethically, there's so much going on here. It's kind of a mess, really. The other thing is he's asked me not to come forward to you as the head of care because he doesn't want to get into trouble. He doesn't want to get fired, which will put him into a situation then where he cannot support his brother, he cannot support his cousin. So I did ask him again. I said, look, as much as this is we don't want to help you. Obviously, there is legal and ethical issues here, but we would like to offer you support and see can we help you make this right before we involve any outside people or things like that. I mean, clearly you could call the police and have them here in 5 minutes, but I think we need to look at the bigger picture and look at his mental state of being as well. So. I did ask him, like I said, to speak to you or not the supervisor. He's unwilling to do that. So I'm one reporting it to you. Secondly, I'm asking advice. What really is do we do in a situation like this? I mean, do we bring him in for a meeting or do we try and go back and talk to him again and really explain, look, you've broken 5 or 6 of our policies and procedures here in one go. I mean, code of conduct through stealing, which is also kind of a WHS issue, like I said. Privacy and confidentiality is huge, obviously. And then obviously the conflict of interest with the cousin. I'm sure we could put a few more in there as well, in general terms, but I think that's enough to get us to try and figure this one out. So what would be the next best steps for me in this instance, in dealing with this and just taking the temperature out of it a bit?
Thank you, Juka, for coming in and
Thanks for
sharing that with me in full detail like that situation. It's obviously one of concern. Yeah, you mentioned legal and ethical dilemmas in this situation. What do you believe they are?
Well, legally, obviously, theft wouldn't be accepted by anybody. And like I said, you start stealing a bandage or a band-aid or a plaster, and next minute, like you're stealing money or you're stealing cash, and we don't know the extent. I mean, that's one thing. So legally, that'd be the big one. But also, we have a conflict of interest here. Clearly, that he's a cousin here, and he has been looking after him himself on occasion. Which, if anything ever went wrong, we would be in trouble. If other clients found out about it, that would be massive. If the wrong prescriptions were given, there's like a whole can of worms that can be opened with that. Obviously, with privacy and confidentiality has been breached here as well. And I think really on the surface it is quite bad, but I'm just wondering, do we bring him in for a meeting? Do we try and get him counseling? What would the best thing to do with him in this instance?
Um, I was actually going to ask you the question, how do you like, how are you feeling about this incident?
Well, it's quite broad, and obviously, I think he's obviously under a lot of pressure to take care of these two of his brother and his cousin, two family members. And we mentioned before, culturally, they don't like to look for help. But like I said, I think he himself, from working here in First Access, would realize it's okay to ask for help. We all need help at some stage in some way. So in regards to the thefts, that's a tricky one. I think we need to have the conversation with him, and frame it like it's not just, you're not just taking supplies, you're taking stock and medical supplies that is a issue, and he could actually get himself into trouble is one thing, but he could cause a lot of legal issues for us here at First Access. Obviously, with the taking of supplies, I think we need to implement something as a company where it would be next to impossible to do so, to remove stock from the property without having a supervisor sign something out to you. Which would be one way of doing it. I think with medication and that, we should have a system in place like you would see in a hospital, where you need like two people to administer a drug or to release a drug, and not just one person cannot have the power just to go in to a storeroom, take whatever they want, and leave the building. I mean, that's just not something we can afford to happen here. So yeah, there's quite a lot of things I think going on. I mean, do we maybe try and get them some help in-house here through EAPS, through our counselling service, first and foremost, and see how does he respond to that initially?
The suggestions you've made are actually quite valid. They're really, really good, and I think we should action them. And, let me know what I can do to support them, and like as quickly as possible, because it is quite dangerous if people are just taking medical supplies that need to be authorized or monitored. And yeah, with conflict of interest that you mentioned, family members, as clients, they need to be disclosed. They have to be they have to be disclosed. So yeah, let's put all this into action. Maybe I suggest at this point, don't approach Lachlan again, or let anybody know that what you've reported to me or anyone else. If you, I don't know, maybe if you need some more support on the next step on finding a way to get Lachlan himself to disclose this information. What do you have any suggestions surrounding that?
Yeah, well, I think obviously his fear of punishment, I guess, whether it be suspension or firing or involving the police, or a lot of these reporting bodies that would be brought into the situation through conflict of interest or anything else. So I think maybe have a kind of a low key discussion with everybody really. Or maybe what we can do is send out a general information notice to all of our staff. Again, obviously frame it in such a way where we wouldn't be mentioning Lachlan by name, but just a reminder to us all of our policies and procedures and some of our responsibilities when it comes to the likes of conflict of interest. WHS responsibilities here on site, code of conduct, absolutely, because this cannot be allowed to carry on. Obviously, it's been very easy to do so. We need to enact something here that'll make it hard for people to continue on with that behaviour. But I don't think he's a lost cause yet. I think if we can offer him that counselling service that we have here, which is free to employees, and it should be. We just need to refresh people's memories that is available to them for any instance, whether it's your own personal mental health that you're going through, or just anything at all. Just a place to come for a chat and a coffee. I think that would be welcome as well. So I think we should try that.
Thank you so much, Chika. I think that your suggestions and your adherence to the responsibility, to report the misconduct. You've done all that, and I guess to action the next steps surrounding the misuse of the medical supplies. That's I think number one priority, and the safety. And the email, just if you need anything else from me, let me know. Include me in
Sure.
all the communications. And we'll maneuver through this together.
Sure. Well, I'll take note of our meeting today and the incident that we're responding to. And I will involve our WHS officer as well, just to see has he any ideas on this. And he might have some solutions as well. That'd be pretty good. So let's do it discreetly for now and see where we end up.
Thanks again, Juka.
No problem. Thank you, John. Thanks for your time.
Okay. Well done, guys. Awesome. All right. I'm just gonna now, Edward and Luke. Are you guys ready to go? You just put your
I suppose so. No time like
yeah.
the present, I guess.
Luke.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna put you guys in a breakout group.
Thank
Edward,
you.
Luke is able to record, so he will send you the recording via email.
All right. Okay.
If you can just share
Okay.
your email to him.
Okay.
Give me 1 sec.
I'll just put the email in when we're inside of our
Yeah,
breakout room.
yeah.
Okay.
1 sec. Okay. Okay. I think they're there. We still got Alona, Sam, Rashika, and Nikki. They're still going. All right. If everyone else wants to turn their cameras on now, if you got any questions about any tasks for this unit, I'm more than happy to answer them while we're waiting.
Not about this unit, sorry, Cheyenne. But
Yeah.
the feedback, I just got your feedback from this afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do I upload that whole document, or do I just take the video bit out of it and
No, just upload the whole thing
into the, yeah, okay, cool. Thank you.
and then whoever marks it will just mark it as satisfactory.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
It's all good. Okay, let me just upload this. Oh, good. Mickey's done as well. So how did you guys go with the role plays?
Good.
No
Pretty
issue?
smooth.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. So are most of us like finished or?
Yeah, we've got, let's have a look. We've got room 1. We've got, so Edward and Luke just started theirs.
Okay.
Alona and Sam should be nearly finished. So
Okay. So
So what-
basically it's just two in a group, right?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So good news is for the next unit, there's no role plays, so we'll just get a bit of a break from role plays.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's 3 or 4 assessments, so we'll try to cover every single assessment during our classes. So we'll try to get all the work done during our class.
Okay.
Okay, so just make sure you guys attend or try to attend, so that way we can spend the class time doing our assessments as well.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what you are saying is now after we finish the role play, we're just gonna go straight to the other assignment, the rest of the assignment.
No, we're gonna start that next week.
Oh, next week. Okay.
Yeah.
So today after the role play finish, is there any more we're just gonna be finished early?
No, we're finished. I was going to cover some course content, but that's up to you guys. You guys are all done now, so
Okay.
you don't have to. We'll just get everyone to come back. We'll have a break,
Okay.
and we'll discuss what we're going to do for the remainder of the evening.
Yeah, I know one more thing, one more question I have, Ken, is like, do you still remember the role play we had? It's like got six people, like Monica, Dennis,
Yeah,
Annabella, because we had it with Vicky, right? So
yeah.
actually, Vicky actually conducted a little bit differently from you. So I did get the recording from the Vicky, but for the I think report part, we still have to write the report ourselves.
Let me just pause this before I say that.
And, because it's been a long time.
Tony, did you have a hand up?
Yeah. I just want to inform you, saying I won't be here next week.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm going away.
Okay, all good. The session will be recorded anyway, so we're going to cover, I think, quiz 1 of the unit.
That's okay.
Oh my God, this is such a long.
Thank you.
Jody?
Just with that particular role play that Mickey's talking about, I've still got to do that role play. So do I book that through LSO just because it's so many people? That's right.
No.
I think we can do it now.
Wow.
If we can get a couple of volunteers, if we can get 4 volunteers to play them roles, I can refresh your memories, guys. If you can do that for us.
Yeah, I can
That's a bit-
be one of the volunteer. No worries.
That's putting me on the spot, but yeah, because it's the big one, right? This is the meeting one.
Yeah.
Oh, did you want some time? Do you want to do it next week?
Yeah, well, I didn't know because obviously I didn't want to interrupt class, but I know for me to actually get 4 people outside of class is going to be difficult.
Yeah, no, we'll do it inside. We'll do it during class. So just prep for next week. And I'll just run through it again next week, just to refresh the guys, and then I will get 4 volunteers to help. I'm sure Martin that will help out.
Yeah, otherwise is there 4 others that haven't done it that want to do it?
I think I don't know if Martin. There was another one who didn't do it, who missed out.
I think I think you are correct. I think Martin, because he was having surgery.
Yeah.
Oh, did he do that?
Which what I've missed that. What were we talking about, Mickey? There.
That one which the six people involved, like
Yes,
Bella.
I did.
Oh, you did.
I got it done. Did I not get it done with you and Amber and them? No.
Yeah, you were there,
No, not
Mickey.
that one. That's a
Jasmine,
different
yeah.
one.
Huh?
Yeah.
6 people. It requires 6 people. You remember, Martin?
Yes, I have it done.
Cheyenne?
Did you do? I can't remember.
Edward?
Yeah, I'm almost up to date.
I came back because me and Luke were about to start doing the recording, but I think you forgot to take off his what was it, his camera or something like. I think because I assume you might have put it off by your
Oh, right. All right.
as a host.
Yep, I'll join you there. I'll put you back there. 1 sec.
Yeah.
What room was that? Where is he here now?
Room 1. Room 1, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, there's his
Yeah,
camera.
I just got out, so my video was locked.
Oh, sorry, mate. All right.
No, all good.
Work with diverse people. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Let me see. First exit. No, not this. And which one was that?
All right. Let's have a look at Martin if he did that one.
And
Yeah, Martin, you've done the whole lot. Yeah.
and
Okay, so I'll just prep for next week.
Yeah, prep for next week, and I'm sure we'll have some volunteers to help out.
Yeah, sure. I'll jump in. Whoever needs help.
Yeah,
No problem.
there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and sorry, Killian, for that role play, do you know what is the course code is that one? Which role play was that one?
CHCCOM002.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Jody, I sent some notes and bit of a guide. Did you get that
002.
for that role play?
Yeah, I've got all the notes and everything. All good. I was just away the night that you guys had to do it.
Yeah.
I was in Sydney for work, so that's okay.
All good.
I can see why it's beneficial to do them at the time because then you forget about it, right? And then it's weeks gone and now you got to refresh.
Yeah, especially with the ones with 4 or 5 participants.
Yeah.
They're the tough ones.
All
And they're
good.
the ones, I think you've got to have an assessor with that one as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you another question about that same unit, Cheyenne?
yeah.
So task 2, the case study.
Yep.
So item 4 of 6, it says to complete an incident, injury, trauma, illness record using Cherie's referral form, but I don't know where the referral form is.
All right, let me have a look one second.
Thank you.
Yeah.
CHCMH 002.
Oh, okay. Okay. 4 feedback from 1 from each member, please. Okay.
Okay, Deborah, are we talking about which unit are we talking about?
CHCCOM002.
Task 4.
Task 2, the case
That's
study.
fine. Yep. Okay. And what was your question? Sorry.
So part 4, it says that you need to complete a injury report using Cherie's referral form,
Yeah.
but I don't know where the referral form is.
Okay.
So, Kian, sorry, do you have a minute?
Yeah.
So just wondering for the CHCCOM02 for the feedback form, it says ensure you have 4 forms filled in and re-uploaded. So do I have to literally fill 4 forms?
You can do that. Yeah.
Can I just fill 1 forms, or do I have to fill 4 forms?
You got to fill 1 form for each person, so there'll be 4 forms.
Oh, 1 form for each person. The things are okay.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be a lot, Mickey.
The thing is, because this was conducted, I had a look of the date on the 16th of April,
Yeah.
and now this is like 7th of May, and I just kind of like lost the train of thought like for this one. And I did have the recording, which is like 1 hour and 34 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'll work it out. Thank you.
All good. Right, let's look at this. Where's this referral?
Luke just popped a message about recording, Cheyenne, in the chat.
Recording?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Saying I couldn't record because I didn't have permission from the host.
I'll just press record now.
So I can probably press record now. So I'll do press record now. Go to this computer, send request. There you go.
All right, you good?
So, yep, good to go.
All right, all good, mate. I'll put you back.
I'll just pause that. Thank you. Sorry about
that. That's all right. Okay. All right. What were we doing, Deborah? The referral.
Yes.
What unit is that, Deborah? Sorry.
Sorry?
Sorry, Alana?
What unit is that?
So I'm looking for CHCC OM002.
CCHOM002. I'm just gonna be
Series referral form.
CHCM.
Sam, did you have a question or?
CH.
Yeah, so with the recording, do I just do the same as I did before and just upload mine and Alona's?
Okay, CHCMHS002.
Yes, Sam, yeah.
To my portal, and then Alona's will get marked as well, right?
Yeah, put your one on and then I'll upload that one to Alona's.
Okay, easy.
Just let me know when you do it so I can go in and mark it and
I'll do it like now.
right. Sounds good. I don't know. Has anyone done the case study for CHCC0M002? Task 2 case study. Has anyone completed that?
I'm just looking for it.
Cheyenne, is that established and
No, it's
established self-directed recovery relationship?
No, it's use communication to build relationships.
Okay. I'm just gonna have a look.
Oh yeah, I've done it. So what do you need for that one?
Oh, did you get a referral form from somewhere? Was there a referral form for the case study?
Let me.
So when you have to fill out an incident and injury report, and it says to use Cherie's referral form to help, but I don't know where the referral form is.
So
to get the information, that's all.
It's not a specific referral form for Cherie. It's a general referral form, and you just have to use the information that you've got from what they've told you, and just go off that. Yeah, there's no actual referral form.
Okay, so just the information that they gave you.
Correct. Yeah, you just have to recite it in the incident report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of information there either.
Yeah, so I'll double check it and let you know exactly what I did, because I've it's done for me. So
yeah, it was a couple of units ago. That's all. And I was just like, I can't find it. I just need to. It's all I need to do is that I've done the rest of it. I just need to do the incident report form. And
I found it.
The information to fill it out.
I think there is an incident report under the that work structure, like the dummy company profile.
First access.
Yeah, first access. Yeah. So under that, I think it is.
Yeah, we can't access first access at the moment though.
Right. Okay.
It's
So
down.
give me a minute. Let me quickly open that up.
They give you a blank template to fill out, but I just don't know.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I just don't know what information to put in it. That's all.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's what I get as well, my incident report template.
Yeah, so you get the template, and what I did was I just said, you basically say you have to describe the incident, and I just said the same thing that was going on. I think we did a similar kind of like a role play or something. I think that's basically I said the same thing that was there in the brief, the task brief.
They basically want you to recite the incident word for word, like event by event, like the name of the driver that pushed them, when they pushed her, what happened, who you talked, literally everything, list by list, word for word. So
word to word, what basically took place. Like Sherry did this and Bill did that, and this was said. And this is where I came from as a support worker. So the whole story that was in the brief, you just put it like in third person.
Okay, yeah.
And so also the emotional state as well. You have to state it as well. What when you seeing her, what was her emotional state?
Okay. No worries. Thank you.
Do you want me to send you a screenshot in chat if I can?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony?
Yes, Simon. If you didn't need to speak to me, can I go now, please?
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a good night.
And I'll see you in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, enjoy your break.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Are we done for tonight?
Yeah, we are. If these guys got no more questions,
Okay.
your time now. We've covered all the tasks. Unless you've got questions about some of the tasks, I'm more than happy to stay back and answer them.
Sure. Mickey, would you send me your email? I'll send you the
I already sent to you when we were in the two-persons
I
group.
think I think
That's okay. I think your internet probably just I will just send it in the everyone email, like in the group.
in the group, yeah, because I think I left that previous call and it just got
That's okay.
yeah.
I'll just send it to you now, and if
Yeah.
you got it, just let me know.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll see you all later.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
Bye.
Did you get the email?
Hey, Deborah, are you in Discord?
Look, I think so.
Yeah, right. I can just post the pictures there.
Yeah.
And it'll be
Yeah.
2 seconds.
It very much confuses me but yeah, that's okay.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just post it in
next time.
General chat.
I was gonna say, because there's a few different like chats and stuff, isn't there? That's
I
right.
will just say
That's right.
probably.
So which one do you prefer it in? Which one are you like on right now?
Be more
I just clicked on the general one, so yeah, you can put it in there.
assertive.
Okay, easy.
I think.
More assertive. You would be more assertive.
Martin, did you have a question?
Yeah, just quickly, the one you need help with for next week, is that the one, the safety and respect team that's been developed? Is that right?
Yeah, it's
Sorry, can you just repeat that again?
The one that you need help with next week, CHCC0M002, is that the role play with the safety and respect team with Monica, Raymond, Dennis, Bella?
Yeah.
That the one? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All right, guys. If there's no other questions, you can go for the night. I'm going to hang back till about 8 o'clock. So if you've got any questions, I'm here till 8 o'clock. Otherwise, have a good night, and I'll see you guys next week. Victoria?
Hey, just wanted to confirm, so next week we're doing promote Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander cultural safety.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And I don't have access to that yet, but how many assessments are in that? Do you know off the top of your head?
4.
Yes, 4.
4.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
We don't have role play with that giant, isn't it? It's all
role plays.
Okay. So the next one we have role plays is recognize and response to domestic violence, I believe.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh, good.
With the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Cultural Safety Unit, there is one where you have to speak with someone of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander descent to kind of fill out that assessment. So just heads up to everyone.
Oh, thank you for that, Sam. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking about, like to gather really a personal information.
It doesn't have to be someone who's Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. It could be that or someone who's worked with people from that background.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
And if you don't have anyone, you can use me as a reference.
Okay. Yeah, because I need that one, Chayan.
That's fine. I'll send you when we get to that task, I'll email you guys. I've got something written up anyway, where I've got some answers for some of them questions. So I'll send you guys an email with that information.
Thank you so much. And what about as well? I find it a bit hard with diverse culture with the Aboriginal as well and Torres Strait Islander. That's what also I find it a bit challenging.
What part of it do you find challenging?
The one that is diverse, working with diverse people, but that includes I think with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander.
A different unit?
Yeah, that was the previous unit.
Is there a particular task?
I'm gonna go here. The research report. That's the one I find it a bit.
It was very challenging for me as well. It took me like weeks.
Yeah.
To
this one, the one that is what social, political, and economic issues affect Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people.
Yeah.
This one and
Is it the
research.
reflective journal?
Not the journal, but the research report. And here again, research at least 3 important cultural customs of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people and write at least 1 paragraph about each.
Okay. What was the first one?
The one that is what social, political, and economic issues affect Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people.
What social, political, and economic?
Economic. Yes, that's the one. Consider how Western society and culture have affected Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people's engagement with services. I find it hard as well too. And here again, identify 2 issues that impact Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people and describe what programs and projects have been developed by the Australian government or other stakeholder groups to address the issues.
Okay, we'll go through the first one. So, what social, political, and economic issues affect Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people? Write at least 2 paragraphs about each issue you identify and its impact. So when it comes to social, so one major social issue affecting the First Nations people is intergenerational trauma. I think we've covered that during that unit. So this trauma stems from the historical injustices of things like colonization, forced removal from land, stolen generations, and systematic racism.
Kian, do you have any website that I could get some information it's because I need to learn as well because for the next unit.
Yeah, if you type the question into Google, you will generally find the information you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you copy and paste the question into Google, you'll generally find a website that answers the question for you, or it will lead you to an organization where they will talk about that topic in length.
Because I want to learn.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So when it comes to political, so that's asking for about things like the underrepresentation in the Australian political system and decision-making processes. So if you would know the recent vote on the
Voice,
how that was knocked back. So that was an initiative to give the First Nations people of avenue how to make decisions for their community when it came to legislation.
Okay, yep.
So that's an example.
What about the economic?
Economic, so they face a lot of barriers. So things like employment, education.
Okay.
There's a high unemployment rate and underrepresentation in skilled professions, which limits economic independence and also continues the cycle of poverty. So these barriers often arise from systematic disadvantages such as limited access to quality education, discrimination in hiring practices, and also there's I think we spoke about this in one of the units where there's bias or biases when it comes to hiring Aboriginal people and a lack of cultural appropriate support services. The economic gap also has an effect, so limiting opportunities for home ownership, obviously financial stability, and community development. And you can probably go, if you want to go further, you can also look at the remote areas as well. So job opportunities is limited in remote areas, and educational opportunities is often lower due to poor infrastructure and resource shortages as well.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's. It's not hard to find answers for these questions, unfortunately, when it comes to Aboriginal people, because they've got a lot of disadvantages. So you won't find it difficult to find any information on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Sam, did you have a question?
Yeah, just want to let you know that the role plays for me and Alona have been uploaded to the portal.
Awesome. Alona, did you have another question for that task?
What about the Western society and culture?
Which one is that?
Consider how Western society and culture have affected Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people's engagement with services.
And does it say give 3 examples?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
So consider how Western society and cultures have affected Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people engagement with services. Provide 3 examples. So one that comes to mind would be the mistrust of institutions. So that would be one example. So due to the past government policies such as the stolen generation and forced assimilation, many of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people would have a deep mistrust, or they do have a deep mistrust of mainstream services. So this mistrust can result in the reluctance to engage with things like health, legal services, and social services. Another example would be lack of cultural safety as well. So many of these services are designed within a Western framework.
That's true.
Because of that, they then fail to acknowledge or respect Aboriginal cultural practices and values. So this can make Aboriginal clients feel sometimes misunderstood, disrespected, and also not welcome, which will lead to disengagement or poor service outcomes.
This is very true because like if comparing like my culture, I'm from Asia and the Western culture, it's so different.
Yeah.
And judgment, I think it's easy because like sometimes the way we behave, it's our norm. But then it's like in a wrong crowd. Like it sometimes it's a bit of discomfort.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, so you can always look at your own culture too, and a lot of the disadvantages or examples would be similar to migrant families as well.
Yeah, it is. It is. And sometimes it's because of sometimes I feel myself as well, like feel being little because I'm a little bit hesitant being judged or being being saying like, oh, it's weird, something like that. Yeah, it's and but it's hard when it is a practice, and then and in going into a different crowd, and it's how do I behave? How does it's always like a social approval. I think that the society, I have to behave in what the society expects me to behave.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard for people who come from different cultures, or cultural norms or different beliefs come into a Western society, and the practices are very different. And sometimes people might feel, things like lack of cultural safety or mistrust in certain institutions and feeling of disrespect towards themselves. But it's not deliberate towards them people. It's just how that system is designed and how that system runs.
Yeah. And it's for me, it's sometimes I get confused because
Yeah.
do I have to practice my culture because it doesn't fit in, because I'm always trying to fit in to the society of my new society.
Yeah.
It's, to be honest, sometimes it's losing self.
Yeah, so it unfortunately unintentionally alienates people.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, that it doesn't do it on purpose, but because of the lack of cultural awareness and cultural safety in a lot of the services, that could be the outcome for a lot of people. Yeah. Was there another question in that one that you needed assistant help in?
So it's the same thing that I can find with this, isn't it?
Yeah,
In go 4 issues. Yeah,
if you
okay.
Google
I'm
it, it
just
should come up.
yeah. Thank you so much, Diane.
That's all good.
Okay, thank you.
All good.
Anyway, if there's some questions that I find it hard, I would just gonna email you.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
No problem.
Thank you so much and have a great night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Alana. Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
Chayan. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, just me, Sam, Lyle, and Jackie now. Lyle and Jackie, did you guys need anything? Okay. All good. I'm just going to hang around until the role play is completed with Edward and Luke, and I'm going to end the session. All good.
Yeah, so with so I don't have to find anybody who is like Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. So is that what you're
I can
saying?
send you an
Yeah.
email that I sent Dashika. One sec.
I was actually planning on going to a Aboriginal culture centre sometime when the unit starts. I was
do that.
thinking, yeah,
That's
I was
cool.
thinking that might be a valuable experience, or I just might talk to them over the phone, email, something like that. But like I've got weeks to do it, so yeah.
If you want that interaction with someone who's Aboriginal and you can't find that, I can send you an email, or I can get you in contact with someone from my workplace, one of the Aboriginal mentors, and you can talk to them if you like. All right, so that's another option. So I think that first one would be a good idea, Sam. That would be actually a great initiative in behalf for you. To
Yeah,
go ahead and expose yourself to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community.
I think that'd be very valuable as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't work out, I can provide you my insight, or I can again connect you with someone from my workplace who is Aboriginal,
Mhm.
and they'll be more than happy to help you out.
You also said that I could consult with someone who's like worked with Aboriginal people on because my mum, she's done a lot of stuff with First Nations people. Like she's helped organize events for like NAIDOC week and stuff like that as well.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I'll do a mixture. I reckon I could do a mixture of things and make sure, like, see, here's the thing, like with this like course, it's kind of like the assessments are, it's either pass or fail. So it's kind of like if, like, I could get detailed with it and make sure it's really like proper, but like it kind of feels like over effort. I don't know if
it is for, if you're just looking at the aspect of passing and failing, yes, it is, you are overdoing it, but in terms of adult learning and your personal development, it's not, because you want to learn as much as you can. And with degrees and with diplomas and certificates, that's what people sometimes fail to understand is, people try to do the bare minimum just to pass and get the qualification, but that it goes beyond that. If you really want to be an expert in your field, you got to go above and beyond, like what you just suggested, is going out to the community and learning and exposing yourself. And that's the only way you're gonna get excel in certain areas. So it's all about up to the individual in the end.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, like I could make it easy, or I could, make the trip down to, like, I think it's like a 30-40 minute drive to the culture center, but that's like, it's a really valuable experience for the unit. And once I get into that workplace, I want to be prepared, right? And not just go off, oh yeah, I did the bare minimum for this unit and I can only provide the bare minimum to clients or whoever,
Yeah. Okay. How many units have you done so far, Sam?
Let me double check that.
You're doing the Cert 4. You got what's your plans after you finish?
So with the units, including the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island safety, so that'd be my 7th unit.
Yeah.
I just got it unlocked because I pretty much finished up everything. Like the only thing I had left, the only thing I had left to do in this unit was the role play, and so I was just waiting. And so I was like, all right, I might as well open up the next unit.
So you're nearly up to work placement.
It depends on with the work, do I have to finish every assessment in each unit, or?
No, you just need to do 50%. So let me finish these. Let me see if you are 50%. I'll just complete these for you. I think you've got a few that's still CA. Let me, because you've done all the assessments there. Let me just complete them for you.
I know there's some assessments that are based on my work placement. So like the self-advocacy one, there was 4 assessments, but I only had 3 available to me, which I finished.
Yeah.
And it's just the work placement one. Is that
why?
Does that mean that it won't be completed until I do my work placement? Or does that mean?
The one you're talking about, I only see 3 assessments here.
Yeah, so I did 1, 2, and 3, but it says it's out of 4. And it was explained, I think it was explained by you earlier that assessment is for when my work placement happens. So does that mean that the unit won't be finished until I'm in my work placement? Because then otherwise I'll probably not be quite at 50% for maybe a few more units.
I'm just having a look. I don't know if that unit has work placement. I'm just checking. One sec. It usually comes up here. Role play. Let's check. Yeah, it must be. They must have changed the way it looks. Okay. I'll just leave that then, just in case it's got work placement in it. I don't want to start that up. Can I open these for you? Just want to try to open the next one for you, see if that opens. Okay, that might work. I'll find out what's going on with the workplace and why these assessments are not here, because I can't see it from my end too.
Okay.
But
So self-advocacy doesn't have a work placement?
I can't see it from my end, no.
Okay. But there are units that have work placement that you would be able to see, right?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'm trying to look for now.
Okay.
It's a role play. Yeah, nothing on this end. Yeah, I'll find out actually. So what's your plans after you finish this?
My initial plan was after I do this, I go to uni and like 90% sure be a degree in social work. My mum's a social worker, so it'd be easy. Yeah, it'd be easy to get into that field, and she's got some things lined up with starting a business as well, and
Nice.
she's got contacts. So yeah, maybe do the nepotism thing, really.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to make things easier and getting a job, then why not? But also, like, I wanted to do this course because I didn't want to jump straight into uni and feel that weight of like deadlines and assessments and everything.
Yeah.
With this one, it's like it's sort of it's good prep. It's good prep for uni as well. So I can if I go into the course, I can understand a lot of the concepts, and if they throw an assessment at me, I can pretty much handle it now. Like since I've done some schooling now, whereas I would have been out of the schooling aspect for a good 10 years before this.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So well prepared.
How old are you, Sam?
I'm 30. I turned 30 5 days ago.
Okay.
So
what industry have you been working in?
So I've been working in the hospitality industry, in specifically the casino where I live.
Oh yes.
In Crown Perth.
Yeah, nice.
So I've been doing that for 9 years, and
nice.
Yeah, definitely could use a change, but it's been good in that a lot of the assessments where they ask what you've done in the community services sector or like clients, I can just apply that to the people I've like dealt to as a croupier.
Of course.
Yeah. Like,
you
I
have a whole range of people in the casino.
yeah. So like I deal with like maybe like 50 to 100 people a day.
Yeah, you've got plenty of experience.
Wide range of wide range of techniques to deal with people and adapting as well when it comes, when it comes
social work. that's a good degree. I think because you can also look or reach out to the counseling side of things as well. If you're, there's a lot you can do with social work degree.
100%, yeah. Oh, but like I could also get a job out of this. Like I could go straight into work after this certificate. It really depends on how I'm feeling, I guess. I've got options, which is good.
Well, the government's going to drop HECS fees by 20%, so it's probably a good time to do it.
Yeah, right. That's good to know. Well, I heard you don't really have to pay those fees until you start
That's right.
working.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to pay until you complete, and then once you get or get into the industry, and then they'll start expecting you to pay. And if you don't pay, they'll just charge you a interest charge on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so technically, if you finish the degree but don't get into the industry and don't have a job, then you don't have to pay? Is that?
No, so if you're not working, they won't charge you interest until you get the job. But if you're working and you're making a good income, they'll charge you interest if you don't pay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I go back to my old job, then would they charge me for that or?
I think they will.
Yeah, right.
So I think for the first year, they won't charge you, and then they'll start charging you from the year after. So they'll expect you to pay. But what a lot of people do is wait for tax time, and usually, if you get some return from tax, that usually covers the expense of HECS. And if it doesn't, you just pay the difference on top.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was doing anyway.
Yeah, no, sounds good.
Doing
Yeah.
my degree, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, you're a good age, 30 years old, a good age to do a degree, and it's not too late to, commit to a different career. It's a good age actually, 30.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's sky's the limit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work in social work as well.
Especially in rural areas, I heard.
Yeah, there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You can work in the hospitals, you can work in, Department of Justice and work as a caseworker for child protection. There's plenty of things you can do. Yeah.
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 But yeah, like you said, I would prefer to excel when I get into the industry, rather than just skate by. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
What about you, mate?
Yeah.
So you work as a teacher here, obviously, but then.
So I work. Yeah. So this is like my part-time job. I do about 15 to 20 hours a week here, but my main job is in the Youth Justice Correctional Facility in Sydney.
Right.
So it's a place called Cobham in Western Sydney. It's the biggest youth justice centre in Australia. We look after kids between 15 and 21.
Right.
So I've been there for over 15 years. So I'm
okay, wow.
At the moment, I'm assistant manager, so one under the centre manager. And I look after about 5 units, and also like emergency procedures and emergency response squads and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there seems like a lot of aspects that you have to take care of there.
Yeah, so when it comes to management, unfortunately, you don't have that. I don't have that client interaction. I do, but not as much as I used to.
Right.
As a unit manager, I was looking after, one or two units directly, and I had that interaction. I had that connection with the young people, or interaction with the young people. As assistant manager, it's more about admin and making sure the staff are doing the right thing. And yeah, it's I still enjoy it, but yeah, it's a lot different. Yeah.
That's interesting, like because I would imagine that obviously working with the clients would have been what you had in mind when you first started, but then as you progress in your career, it's kind of like it gets further away from that.
Yeah, it is. It's like that in every job, isn't it? The more you move up, the more you move away from the fundamentals of why you actually started that job in the first place, is to work with, the clients and work in the front line. But, the more experience you get, then people need to share their experience with the younger generations and the newer staff so they can develop as well. So it's,
yeah.
yeah,
I feel that because
yeah.
that's what it's like in my job. So like I'm a croupier. I deal to like maybe like maximum there can be like 7 people at a table, and I've had a lot of good like conversations and whatnot. And there was a job listing for like being an inspector, so that's like the next stage up, and that's just like supervising the pit. You're walking up and down and whatnot, and that's like it's easy, but you do interact with people, but it's far less. It's far less as well. So,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't really, it wasn't really my style, you know what I mean? Like wearing the suit and just doing them. Then they're supervisors, but they're not really like manager types. They're just supervisors.
Yeah.
Like I see them more as colleagues rather than my boss. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Still waiting for Edward and who's the other one?
Yeah, they must be right into it.
Are you sure they haven't just like left and?
No, they're there. They're definitely there.
Oh, they're there. Okay, right.
Yeah, I can see them in there.
Yeah, right.
It's funny how people get scared, get panicky around the role plays, but once they get into it, they start enjoying it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what me and Delona were talking about. Like I was just like, it's obviously have points to hit.
Yeah.
After that, it's just a chat, and like Alona hit all her points in the first couple of minutes, and then I was like, okay. Well, then I don't really have to ask much. I just and that's what we it hits on going above and beyond, right? Because okay, Alona's hit all her points. I could just end the meeting right here, but we decided to talk about like strategies to develop the workplace. So like when it came to that Lachlan guy and his brother who was a Warren Jerry man. Yeah. So one of my suggestions, and it wasn't a point we had to hit, but like one of my suggestions was that we have a helpline for like workers and their family members as well, because my workplace has a helpline where it's free to workers and their family members to use and call up. But also because his brother was a First Nations man, and I've done like half of that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander unit. I was able to say, okay, well then we can also have a helpline for First Nations, people, because they require, like, their situation's a bit more complex, so it requires a bit more delicate handling. So that was something I probably wouldn't have been able to suggest if I didn't open up the unit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, which gave you a little bit more insight for the role play you're doing now. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, that's
and
cool.
it's interesting how they all interconnect, because looked through all the learner guides, and there's a lot of things that come up again and again. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the only unit that I would say it sort of does, but probably like the WH&S one is probably doesn't relate as much as the rest do together. But all the units do
and
complement each other.
Yeah, even that one, like you could say, work legally and ethically plays into it because like a lot of it's policy and procedure base, which is just like the work health and safety one. Like with the role play that we had to do with the coffee, the storeroom, that's exactly. There was a case study in the work health and safety one, which is just like exactly like that. There was an accident that happened, and you had to kind of come up with a solution towards it. So yeah, that's it's really touching on a lot of same things, which is good because you'd rather touch on the same things again and again than touch on a million different things. And then when you get into the workplace, you're not going to remember any of them.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I was gonna run something past you guys, I forgot. So so you know how we do the classes and most of the time we're covering role plays. Well, that's how anyway. I feel like I don't know, are you guys getting a lot out of that, or do you guys prefer for me to cover the unit content and the elements of the unit?
I feel like it the role plays are going to be like the bread and butter of like when someone gets in the workplace. So I feel like that's still, yes, definitely still keep doing that. But also I think if like another thing that's definitely beneficial is the case studies that you sometimes do. A lot of the information. So like, let's say you're doing some slides and then, you're going through it and whatnot. Like some people might tune out because it's not that interactive. Like, sure, like they'll try and listen. They'll try and listen to the best of their ability and try and retain the information. But if they're not putting it in practice, then it's gonna kind of, go in one ear and go out the other. So like, the case studies that where you get everyone to interact with each other, I feel that's beneficial to help retaining that information. And obviously the role plays to make sure people get that real because it's the best, it's the closest thing to the real, like closest simulation to the real thing. So definitely the case studies to make sure everyone interacts with each other, and the role plays, because that's what mental health is. It's just like you're interacting with people. And I know a lot of the people are like nervous about role plays, which, like the way to get past that is to do them, like just do the role plays, because it's a safe, controlled setting. There's no real stakes, so that when it comes time to be in the workplace, you've prepared for it. You're not. It's not the first type of like client interaction that you've had, or well, it is, but it's you've prepared for this as best as you can. So
yeah. Just Lyle says it's both. He reckons both are good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it's just making sure that during class there is a opportunity to demonstrate the theory and put it into practice as well.
Yeah, the role plays are interesting. Yeah. They are good. That's the closest you are. All right. They're the closest thing to like work scenarios or work placement. And if people do it right and apply the principles in that role play, you will learn a lot of the content of the unit as well. So
Yeah, 100%. Did that help you with what you wanted to know?
yeah. I
Yeah.
just because I don't want to because I know some learners are not getting involved in the role plays, and that
Yeah.
might be because they don't feel like they're ready for doing the role plays, or maybe some of them think, oh, they were here for the unit content instead. So I don't want to let them down as well. So I want to make sure I'm covering both sides. But it's very hard when you only got 3 hours and you've got, for example, one of the units we're going to cover is going to have 3 role plays, three assessments that have like 5 or 6 role plays. So
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I think the institute should just give you more time, really. Like if I know there was, so you got on average 4 assessments for each unit, but you got 3 weeks to cover them. So it's kind of like it'll definitely test the learner's time management. It's definitely tested my time management, that's for sure. Like so yeah, the only thing I could really think is somehow make it more interactive. But even then, like
it's hard, yeah.
Some people are just they're just not ready to get on screen and speak to everyone. Like, I know my first, like my very first unit, my very first class, I was like, well, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's
I might I was thinking about doing a study session as well, like doing 2 hours a week in one of the evenings where during class we'll do role plays and the unit content and do what we've been doing. And then maybe I'll do another 2 hour class during the week where we can cover the unit, the elements of the unit and what the unit's about, and that's what I'm thinking about anyway. But
yeah,
we'll see.
I can definitely see what the there's like a lot of learners that are reluctant to get involved in classes. So
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them because the current cohort, you guys have got a bit of a relationship now. There's about, I think, the 12 of the main ones. So you guys known each other for over a month now, and you've done a lot of role plays together. So when you get new guys into that group, it takes a while for them to
it does
fit in and feel comfortable doing role plays. But you guys, I must say, very welcoming. So when there are new guys in, when they jump in, they don't feel like they're outsiders, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I feel like maybe if there is some time, like maybe there could be some time set apart for those new learners to kind of voice some concerns. I would say maybe like not even just for the course. Maybe if they've just if they got some issues that they just want to get off their chest, then maybe that might help them to sort out, and then maybe start asking some questions and offering some input. You know what I mean? It is difficult because it's not like a classroom where you got them in front of you and you can just get to the bottom of it. It's like you're talking to a screen, not even a screen. They've got sometimes both their mics and cameras are off. So how do you reach them from that point?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the hard part. But Lyle hopefully will join us next week with his camera.
Yeah.
We'll add another learner to our group.
Yeah, I see Edward's got his camera, so
it's good.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, let's go. Just have to swap to my phone, that's all.
How'd you go, Edward? Did you just get it all done?
Yeah. Well, me and Luke, we talked about possibly setting aside some time for each other because he has a full-time job, and I found it a bit hard to do role plays during class, especially with like my constant need to like swap to my phone and then the worry about like recording and whatnot. And so we found that we should just probably do it together, like after class at some point, just smash a bunch of them out because me and him have been falling behind on those.
Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, along with what you guys were talking about, how we could get some of the some of the new learners to possibly talk about if they need to talk about anything or get something off their chest. We could possibly put like Cyan into a breakout room with them because he's a supervisor or whoever they feel comfortable most with. Now, so then they're not crowded by dozens and dozens of people.
That's a good idea.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Edward, because I don't know if you remember like one of our very first sessions with Vicky, right? Yep. Me, Edward and Mickey got put into a breakout room, and we just chatted about, we started with an I feel statement and what we were feeling out of 1 out of 10. And I feel like, so there was just 3 of us, and I feel like that alleviated some
a lot of the pressure.
Yeah, a lot of the anxiety that we initially had.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe breakout rooms for the new learners.
We could have something like 2 people in there, not just one of the new learners, but maybe like 3 new learners and like me and Sam or me and Mickey or something like that, just so then they have those 2 people to kind of not push them into it, or give them that like little nudge to say like, yeah, it's okay. We understand where you're coming from when you say you're anxious about talking. It's all right. It's okay. So I think that could be possibly good instead of just having. I mean, it could be one-on-one. We could ask people, some of the new learners, what they feel most comfortable with. But I think it's like, especially with what this course is working them towards. I assume they're going to want to do something to do with mental health, which would mean that they will be communicating with people. So we should at least try and help them get into that sort of mindset and routine of being able to even just talk a little bit to somebody,
Yeah. Like 100% agree. And I agree with the idea that if you put two to 3 new learners and 1 learner that's a bit more experienced, or even Cheyenne himself, then I feel like that's a really good way to bounce. It's really good for them to bounce off. So somewhat like, because if you've got 2 new learners, then it's good because they both feel the same way. But then if you've got a more experienced learner, then the experienced learner can be like, okay, I understand that you've felt this way before because I've felt it, and this is how to like kind of move forward and make sure you're getting the most out of this course.
Of course.
All right. We'll call it a night, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
And then I'll see you guys next week with the start of our next unit. And good news, Edward, I don't know if you were here. There's no role plays for the next unit. So you got 3 weeks of no role plays.
Oh yes, let's go. That's gonna be helpful. That's good to hear. At least,
we'll just go through
have that pressure on
all
our chest.
we'll just go through all the tasks, all the assessments. Sam won't need it. Sam's already done half of them. So
I've done 2 assessments. I just need to speak with someone. Yeah, you will have to find someone to speak with about who has knowledge of like First Nations culture, and then answer some of the questions there. But other than that, it'd be all right.
All right. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the recording now. Thanks for everyone joining in tonight.